Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm showing you what tools I use to restore my lighters. So first of all, of course you're going to need scissors or a wick cutter to cut the wick. And for replacing the wick you're going to need needle nose pliers, needle nose tweezers, and regular tweezers. And same with the cotton as well. And of course you're going to need a mini screwdriver and a paper clip to clear the flint tube out, and a wire brush and plastic brush for cleaning the lighter itself. Of course you'll need a mini screwdriver set, and that'll be about it. So I'll be restoring a Ronson lighter just to show you how to use the tools. The Ronson standard is pretty similar to the builds of the Gem and Princess, and along with any flat add lighter like the Salem lighter back here. And unlike the Ronson standard and flat adds, the Ronson Capri has a straight flint tube. So the flint tube is pretty much straight, there's no curves or bends in it, so you can use a mini screwdriver to clear it out. Unlike the Ronson standard and most flat add lighters, they have a bent section in the flint tube. So you can't use a mini screwdriver to clear out the flint tube. You'll have to use a paper clip or take apart the whole lighter, and I recommend just taking apart the whole lighter because usually the paper clip is not strong enough to break up the flint. So you can usually tell if the flint tube is straight by looking at the flint screw at the bottom and looking at the flint wheel at the top, and if they're aligned pretty much perfectly, then most of the time it's a straight flint tube. I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. Now, as you can see, this tube barely fits in. That's how you can tell. Now, let's put some flints in here. Add some fluid. There you have it. That's a simple fix, easy fix. Zippos are usually easy. As for getting a new flint wheel on, you can tell that it has a different pin. And this pin needs to be drilled out, and you need a certain type of tool for that. So this is the tool you'll need. You can easily find one on eBay for about 20 bucks. It's a pin inserter / extractor for Zippos, of course. And we can honestly replace the wick on this because it needs replaced. So you can see the wick down in there. There you go. There's your wick. Take your other wick. Tighten up the end. So the wick always takes forever getting the wick in, and I always use a size bigger than it needs just because it sits in there a little bit better and it doesn't drag through when you don't want it to. So it took me about 10-15 minutes to get the wick completely in. So for the wick process, you definitely want some needle nose tweezers and some regular tweezers so you can grab the wick after you've got it seated. And there you have it. The wick is inserted. Make sure you don't pull it all the way through. You don't want to redo that whole process. I'm not sure what kind of cotton they had in there, but we're throwing that out, put some new cotton in, and fill her up, and we'll call it good. Now for the Ronson Standard, Gem, Princess, or Flat Add lighters. Now of course they all have bends in them, and you'll need a mini screwdriver for this mini screw right here. And before you even take that mini screw out, we gotta take the flint spring out. So do that real quick. And you can use a mini paper clip to try and unclog it, but most of the time you'll have to take it out. And of course you can't use a mini screwdriver, so you gotta use a paper clip, at least on the Ronson Standard, Gem, Princess. A lot of Ronson lighters are like that, and a lot of flat adds are like that. Looks like the paper clip is not going to unclog what's in there, so we're definitely going to have to take it apart. And we'll need a mini screwdriver, like I said. There's only one full round gear in here, and it only has half its teeth, so we have to get 2 new full round gears. And to do that, you're gonna need brand new Ronson parts, and you can only find that online, like eBay, and most of the time you can only find used parts, and they are pretty spendy. I think I spent on these new Ronson parts about 80 or 120 bucks. They are not cheap. As for this clog though, it is clogged, that's for sure. So to unclog it, you can either use a mini screwdriver, or better yet, I have a drill. And you do not need a mini drill like I have. You can definitely use a bigger drill, but of course you'll have to have a mini drill bit for it. Makes a big mess. Take a tool. This is where this will come in. Bend that outward just a tiny bit. Now, I always check to see if it makes it through. If it doesn't, then it's not fully unclogged. Now to clean the lighter itself, the button was sticking, so all I am doing is putting a little bit of lighter fluid in there and just pushing it a little bit, trying to agitate that dirt, and then clearing it out with a towel and a Q-tip. And of course use our plastic brush to clean out any other gunk. And to clear off any other debris on the lighter itself. Now look at the angle. After that, you now use a wire brush to kind of clean off the wheel. Nice and clean. Now, of course, we're going to want to put a lighter fluid on there and wipe this off as well. Now take your flint wheel and clutch spring and put them back together. Make sure the clutch spring is actually grabbing onto the flint wheel. Just make sure the gears are actually snapping together. Now put them both back into the snuffer cap, and we can add our 2 gears on each side. Make sure the flint wheel is on the right side of the snuffer cap because Ronson does offset their flint tube to the right a little bit, so just make sure that the flint wheel is in the right position. Now put everything back together, including the plunger. And this is why I told you to have a set of mini screwdrivers, so you can use one or two to help keep everything aligned. It'll keep everything aligned while you get the mini screws to insert. Finally got that in. Now we can put in the tiny screw and it'll be all done other than putting in flint and fuel. That's about it. That's all the tools I use and you'll need to restore any of the lighters in my videos. Like a Zippo. Zippos are pretty easy to restore just because they have the straight flint tube. Pretty easy to clear that out. Ronsons, of course, they have a bent flint tube. Same with the Flat Ad, the Ronson Gem, the Ronson Princess, and the Ronson Whirlwind. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully this video was useful in some way, and if it was, please be sure to like the video and subscribe for more of this content.